Welcome back to Recruiting Thursday here on the Westmoreland Sports Network. Jack Ridenour with you all today, and I'm now joined by current softball player for Mount Pleasant and recent Pitt-Johnstown softball commit, Krista Brunson. Krista, first off, really glad you could join us today on WSN. How does it feel to finally make this decision?
It feels great. I'm very relieved to finally make the decision.
Well, I'm glad that you kind of used that term relieved because I'm curious to hear from you what this whole process was like for you. I mean, what was the most stressful and challenging part of it all?
Definitely the portal and the fifth-year seniors. It kind of messed up because coaches didn't really know who was going to be on their team and who wasn't going to be on their team. So it kind of held back the 2022s and the 2023s with their recruiting process, I think. But that was probably the most stressful part because I wanted to commit and the coach didn't want to, make any offers or anything until they really knew who was going to be on their team.
Yeah, I know that the whole COVID fifth year thing kind of throws a wrench in at really everything. So when coaches are telling you that, I mean, what's kind of going through your mind? Are you starting to worry yourself that you're going to have your recruitment delayed as well?
I was definitely worried, but I just kind of was just going with the flow. Whatever coach came after me, I was like, I guess if they want me, they want me.
Well, it definitely seems that Pitt-Johnstown really wanted you, and I want to hear just what went into that decision and why did you ultimately want to commit to Pitt-Johnstown?
I love the coach there. She's awesome. She just kind of really made me, she gave me everything that I wanted in a coach. So that was ultimately my decision, but I love the campus. One of my teammates is going there too. So I kind of have somebody that I know, and a lot of my former teammates go there this year. So it just kind of all put itself together for me.
Yeah, it sounds like a very familiar setting for you. And I say this to people all the time, it's where you're going to be spending 4 years of your life. And 4 years, I know you say it out loud and it doesn't seem that long, but then you go through those 4 years and you're like, wow, this is a long time. So you want to make sure that it feels like home for you. Now, I am also curious to hear why you made this decision prior to the season starting. What went into that decision? I mean, I know you had mentioned it before, you wanted to just commit. Had you wanted to just get the process done right when it started?
Well, I waited a year because the coaches can first talk to us on September 1st of our junior year. But that was still whenever COVID was a thing. So everything was kind of held off on visits, offers, everything like that. But in the summer, Coach Nikki texted me and she asked me if I wanted to come on a visit. And I said, of course I do. And she just, everything escalated from there.
Well, it's great that you were able to find a place, and again, not having to worry about playing well. And then also on top of it, having to impress coaches in the middle of the season, plus having to worry about schoolwork as well. So it's probably a very good decision that you made. But I want to get into this past season because I know your team made a big playoff run this past year. And I want to hear just coming out of this past season and heading into this upcoming season. I mean, what do you want your team and what are you looking for your team to build off of this past year's playoff run heading into this year?
We're definitely building off of me and Sophia Spandowski, another commit. We're kind of the two coming back this year, and we're definitely trying to build off of the leadership that we've created in the past couple of years. We had a bunch of other girls commit D1, like my sister, Courtney Polich, Mary Spandowski, and we're kind of building off what they built, and we're going to try to keep it going.
Well, I'm really glad that you bring up your sister because I know you had a unique experience playing with your sister in high school, and we'll get into your dad, Chris, also because your dad is the coach. But we'll first stay with you and your sister. I mean, I want to hear from you just how much of an influence she's been on you in softball, how much of an inspiration she's been to you, and just really what's kind of been some tutelage or maybe just some advice that she's given you throughout the years in softball.
Definitely that I should go where. Not to impress other people, but to more do what I want to do. But she's been the biggest inspiration probably because whenever the rules weren't changed, she committed first in 8th grade. And then I think in 11th grade. And then in 12th grade, she committed to Pitt. So she's been through the process a lot. So she gave me a lot.
It's great that you have that kind of soundboard, if you will, somebody that's there to bounce ideas off of or just give that friendly or advice or whatever it might be. Now, want to get into your dad, Chris, because he's the coach at Mount Pleasant, and I want to hear that's got to be very interesting having dad as the coach, and then you got to go home and you got to deal with dad at home. So what's that been like, and just what kind of influence has he had on your career?
Well, he's been coaching me since I think he coached my first team my second year of 10U. And ever since then, like, I've just always kind of looked at him as coach and dad. So I think once the high school season started and he became my coach, I was kind of used to it. So we didn't really have any conflict there, but it definitely got a little bit crazy sometimes with having him come home and be my coach and my dad at the same time.
So how do you kind of draw that line in the sand? I mean, I've had many people come on where they're, whether it's their mom or their dad or whatever that are their coach. And I'm sure it's hard to leave stuff on the softball field and not bring it home with you. So how do you guys kind of do that and make sure that whatever was happened on the softball field stays there and it doesn't come home with you?
Pretty much just communication. He knows that after a softball game, I'm not really one to talk about what happened because obviously he was there. He saw what happened. We figured it out on the field. So it's more peaceful at home whenever we come home.
Well, that's got to be pretty nice. I'm sure it's also very nice that it can kind of, that line can get drawn and it's not being carried over to home with you. Now, in terms of just getting ready for this upcoming season, I'm sure obviously there's a lot of things that, you're looking for in terms of yourself to build on from last year and your team as well. But what's just kind of your overall outlook and everything that you've kind of seen with your teammates in the fall time and the summertime, and what's kind of the mood heading into this upcoming spring?
We're definitely all very excited. We all have the same goal, and that's to win, but we also all want to have fun because outside of high school softball, usually we all play travel softball, and that's whenever it's like our serious like softball all the time. So high school softball is more of like a bonding kind of, and everybody needs that in high school too. So we're all more like friends than like competing for spots.
And I think that's the best way to be about it. And that really builds some great chemistry with your teammates. Well, Krista, it's been great to have you on the show today. Thanks so much for joining. Before we let you go, one final question. I just want to hear from you. It can be something softball related or non-softball related, but what are you just looking forward to in this school year? Before you go off to college and whatnot, what are you most looking forward to doing in your final year of high school?
Definitely making memories with my teammates before we're done with it. But I've been friends with the same group of people for the last 4 years. So it's just making my last memories with them.
Well, it's definitely going to be an exciting year for you guys at Mount Pleasant. So thanks so much for joining us today. And again, good luck this upcoming season and good luck at Pitt-Johnstown.
Thank you.